Welcome in, everybody, to episode 6 Foxtrot of the Mission Debrief with Call Team 6, Special Ops for Car Dealers, no lead left behind. We are a remote virtual BDC company nationwide in the United States featuring the very latest in tech, which we're going to be talking about a lot today. We've been developing over the past, with our partners over the past few months, and then also all U.S.-based agents. And the fastest growing BDC company in the U.S. right now. And as with me, as always, are our two partners in the company, our CEO, Ken Kingstad. Ken, welcome back again in studio today. Coming to everybody right now from beautiful Meisner Park in South Florida, the Boca Raton, East Boca area. Thanks for making the trip down, and we're always very glad to see you, and we're always extremely encouraged to listen to what you're going to impart in terms of content, which is always fire.
Well, listen, today is going to be one of those episodes where people are going to want to watch again and again and again, because it's the hottest topic, I think, right now in the auto space. And we're talking AI, agentic AI, right? Not just, bots. And so we're going to go deep into that. And I know that you can almost get, in a lot of cases, everyone's thinking about how is AI, can I utilize it to maximize my profits at a car dealership? And so you can get a little overwhelmed with so many different products that are out there. So anyway, I'm excited about sharing how it works with CRM. And we got a special guest to go into a deep dive in terms of what we have and what's working and really how to grow your gross profit in your dealership without adding any additional humans, quite frankly. And that's the key with AI.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. We're looking forward to that. We do have a special guest in the bullpen ready to go in just the next few minutes. And I'm really looking forward to that because this is an area where I've spent a lot of my time, energy, and resources doing a lot of research and a lot of development in the past year and a half or so. Actually, today, in studio with us again, not broadcasting from the secret bunker in North Carolina, but in person, is our COO, Mr. Ryan Mays, along with me, right to camera right over here.
All right,
Ryan,
right.
welcome
Happy
in
to
again.
be here. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, we love you, Ryan.
They didn't lock the doors this time. They let me in.
So what are you looking forward to this time whenever we're talking about what's coming up for Call Team 6 and our partners over the next 18 months or so?
Well, I'm excited about the guests we have on because I think one of the things that gets kind of lost in translation is being able to properly identify and describe what AI means. A lot of places out there say, yeah, it's AI. They slap the AI label on it and say it's going to do pop, pop, pop. Don't worry about it. But in today's world, there are differences between the older technology out there where companies say it's AI and then what really is agentic AI. What does it mean to be an integrated solution versus a plug-in solution, right? And we're going to be able to separate those terms, define those terms for you today, especially with our special guest, so that when you guys are out there looking for the next greatest evolution in AI technology that's going to really help your business, you're going to be able to know. You're going to know the right questions to ask these companies. You're going to be able to know what you're walking into and what the real expectations are, because I think a lot of that gets lost today. And it's because no one has time, right, to go down the rabbit hole of what does what. So we're going to simplify it here today. I'm excited about this. I've been working pretty closely with this myself over the last year. And be able to finally break down and describe what that means for you so you know what to expect at your dealership and be able to describe it to your team, what you're going to be doing and what kind of product you're bringing into your dealership's ecosystem. So I'm excited for it. This is one I've been waiting on for a long time to be able to dive into. So let's get to it.
Yeah, we're very excited about that. And for our viewers out there, when Ryan says you, he means our intended audience, of which is growing exponentially ever since we started our program here, which involves great takeaways, great content, things you can put in place now at your dealership, meaning if you're a general manager, dealer principal, GSM, sales manager, anybody in fixed ops and leadership positions, they're the ones getting the most out of this content, and we invite you to look back on our previous episodes available on all the socials. Ryan will touch on that a little bit later. And so, yeah, with that, we'll get right into the mission launch and field report section, which is brought to you today, this entire episode, by our two sponsors. First up is Podcast Junkies. And we are broadcasting from their studios today for the very best and latest in podcast technology and social media management and production. You got to see these guys in South Florida, but they can produce you your program anywhere. We're very grateful for their partnership. And then secondly, our other weekly sponsor here on this program is Insight Live, one of our business partners who specializes in event-based marketing and events, and also in digital marketing as well. We generated a really fruitful relationship with them. They take care of dealerships all across the country whenever it comes to expertise in implementing digital and in-person boost for special events for dealerships all across the country, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
So with that, hey, we want to make a quick shout out. Sitting in today for producer Ben is engineer Darn Daniel.
Yes.
What's going on?
Dan, what's new, man? Thanks for joining us today and
course.
putting all this together.
Of course. It's going to be a great show. These guys are the real professionals right here. It's going to be a great show.
Along with yourself, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being at the helm like you don't know. And a quick shout out to our music producer, Jay, back in North Carolina. So we're going to get started again with the mission launch and field report today. As Ken and Ryan mentioned, we're really excited to have with us one of the most prominent people and figures in the automotive space today. And he is with us, taking just a little bit of time out of his busy schedule to join us here and share some of the things that Ryan just touched on and Ken just touched on. So if you want, start your recorders now, because this is going to be some of the most useful and forward-thinking and advanced content I think that you're going to find out there to give you some real insight whenever it comes to making sure that you are putting your dealership at the highest level of execution and in best possible position to be competitive and dominate your market, and and at the same time be able to keep your costs under control and be able to expand your reach at the same time. So with that, we're very excited to bring in and honored to have with us the person I just referenced, and we'd like to bring him in now and get our mission launch and food report section of the program started. He is none other than our business partner, Jim Schrull, who's joining us today from southern part of the country in the greater Atlanta area. Welcome in, Jim. We're very thankful. We're honored, and we can't wait to hear what you have to share with us today, as I'm sure our viewers do. Welcome in.
Thank you. You guys sure did look natural in that studio sitting there with each other.
Yeah, we're sitting down, so it's, the less movement, the better when you get to be my age. Not a young spry guy like the rest of the guys on the program today.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Appreciate being able to take the time to describe some of our initiatives, our software technology development, how it can impact call centers and dealerships and businesses in general.
Yeah.
So share with us a little bit, Jim, if you would, on the off chance that somebody watching this has not already heard of you, a little bit about what you do, what your background is, and some of your experience which is extensive, obviously, in the automotive space for our viewers.
Yeah, a quick background. I came up on the retail side. I was fortunate to work in dealerships where they developed and promoted internally. Through those opportunities, I became a partner and the dealer principal in multiple dealerships, and ultimately developed a finance company, sold it to a publicly traded company, was the CEO of that company for a number of years. And then at around 2008, 2009, with market conditions changing, I developed a marketing company that was primarily event-based. But I've always been a technical person, and as the technical aspects of how we're going to drive business to dealerships and all the various tools that are available, I became curious with that, and specifically as it relates to CRM management. And that's kind of where it brings us into the scope of our AI development and the pursuit of that, which really started a few years ago, but it evolved from chat understanding into true agentic AI understanding. So been around for a long time, have seen a lot at a very high level, kind of know the pain and the friction that exists at the dealership level in day-to-day operations, but also how it impacts consumers in trying to get through all the blocks in terms of just trying to simply buy a car or have their car serviced.
Great, thank you for that. Yeah, that's certainly extensive, and when you fast forward a little bit of that to what is going on now, we think this is timely because that's the reason why we wanted to have you on, and we really appreciate your taking the time, is because coming up next month will be the Digital Dealer Conference Expo out in Vegas. And a lot of what you've been referencing just now will play a prominent part in terms of your company and what you're doing to leverage the operations that Call Team 6 performs for dealership clients on a day-to-day basis, and how that is going to be introduced with some really exciting opportunities there for the dealers out there. Can you share a little bit more about what we can expect in regards to that coming up that you've been working on with your different companies and your different relationships that we're really excited to share?
Yeah, kind of how we got here today. We were approached, my company was approached by Amazon Web Services about 16, 17 months ago. And they wanted to look at what our roadmap was, where we saw ourselves interfacing with AI, how that solution could fit into the auto industry. And so we went through a scope of work. They identified us to be a business that they would want to invest time, effort, and money into to help develop an agentic AI model fully integrated in CRM. So we started that process. And through the process, when we initially started, it was really more of a chat function. And then the landscape started changing rapidly, moving towards more of an agentic AI model, which we were kind of in the right place at the right time. That AWS, we were already a partner of theirs, utilizing their cloud services. And they saw us as a potential candidate to invest time, money into to develop. And at the same time, the environment changed from being a chat environment to really what can we do with AI? And as a result of that, we are utilizing AWS's Bedrock environment, which is where all their AI components are. And through various other partners, we're developing with engineers to present to the market. And we should roll it out. Well, I'll tease you now, go ahead and tell you. We're going to be showing our AI agentic model at Digital Dealer. We look forward to you being able to experience both voice, text, and AI dialer capabilities, all fully integrated into a CRM solution.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to hear more about that. I have a couple of questions, though. We have a lot of viewers out there and dealers who they're hearing our terminology and may or may not be as technologically oriented as somebody like yourself. So if they're talking to potential vendors out there, and I know there aren't really any who are as advanced in the agentic side, but what questions should they be asking their vendors about being able to differentiate the types of AI, so that way they know that they are asking the right questions and what type of information they think that they should get, and what should they look for in those answers?
There are 5 areas that I try to educate someone when you're referencing what does an agentic AI model really mean. First, it understands content and intent. It's not based on keywords and preset flows. Second would be it can take autonomous actions. And what does that mean? It can carry out making calls, responding to text, scheduling, updating CRM information based on conversations. Third, coordinates tasks across multiple tools. Those tools may be within the CRM or within your call center. So again, it has access to tools. Second, or fourth, adapts in behavior. It's going to learn over time. So each and every conversation it has, it's stored in memory being very important. So it will learn from all previous conversations. It'll also learn from the individual one-to-one conversation. So when someone tells me they have AI and they say they have agentic AI, those are some of the things I would want to know. Can it carry conversation? Does it have reasoning capability? Can it store and gather information? Can it recall it from a memory basis? And can it complete tasks autonomously without having to interface with some pre-sorted workflow?
Right. So in your experience out there, there are some companies purporting themselves to have agentic AI when essentially they're just advanced or sophisticated chatbots. Is that a fair statement? And if I'm looking out there and I'm a dealer trying to find a partnership where I can get some economies of scale and improve performance, then it would seem as though I would want to make sure that I'm working with the very latest technology out there. Is that a fair statement?
It is. If you're working on what we'll call legacy architecture, dynamically, you're not going to be able to move forward as the agentic model updates. For us, for example, we are using the foundation model Nova Sonic, which is provided by Anthropic and available through Bedrock and AWS, Amazon Web Services. So when they're updating and modifying functionality and capabilities, all that automatically updates within our model. So if you're speaking to someone, they talk about AI and they say they have agentic, what I would tell you is within the demo, you want to be able to have voice interaction, text interaction, see if it stores that information, see if that information is recalled through the demo that you're having, and is it adjusting and reasoning where it can answer questions that aren't necessarily specifically programmed through some of those pre-sorted workflows for chatbots.
Got it. Well, and whenever I hear like what you mentioned earlier about applying this to CRM applications for dealerships, and just having watched the advancements that have taken place, just within, I don't know, the past 6 to 12 months with the technology that's out there. I mean, all of a sudden, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, and actually, I know, Ryan, you spend a lot of time in that space, and I'd like to get Ken's thoughts too, but from an expert like yourself, I'm somebody who's used a CRM for 30 plus years, right? I can share with you there's not been much advancement in the CRM space in that period of time, and now all of a sudden AI has come out, and now we have agentic AI that can do all of the things that you just shared, which are all extremely impactful to a dealership's operational aspects on a day-to-day basis. It almost seems to me as if the AI has leapfrogged the CRM in its existing state. To your point about being able to populate the other ancillary or tangential areas of the operations, that all of that gets updated at the same time versus one aspect of your tech stack getting advanced and leaving the rest behind. And you know what I mean? It almost seems like that's happened because, I mean, we've had previous conversations on here about how, in my view, I'm kind of blunt about it. I think the existing CRMs are all dead. I think that that this technology surpassed that, and they really were caught unaware. And when you look at your customer records on a CRM, and the way you look at the way that the cadence, the workflow is all set up, it just became, in my view, irrelevant. And as soon as the word gets out with customers these days that they can have these advanced conversations and actually, without having to have a human involved necessarily, where that sounds, looks like, acts like a human, but is actually more receptive and will keep its word and make sure that they come away with the information that they want. In my view, I think that it's going to be a while before they can catch up with it. So my point ultimately is, you can comment on that, but my point ultimately is, whenever you talk about taking on the CRM space with this technology, for one, as a dealer, I could not be more excited that perhaps we're going to be able to take care of customers now and be able to retain owners now the way that we've always wanted to be able to do as dealers, but just never had the technology because the humans just, we can't get that type of participation to the level and executional level that we would like. What are your thoughts on all of that? I know there's a lot there.
There's a lot there, yes, but I appreciate it. You're right. The old what we'll call CRM model is dead. It's kind of horse and buggy, and we're now in automobiles, and now we're not only in automobiles, we're in airplanes. So chatbot was the automobile, and now AI is the airplane. So you can go farther, faster, and shorter period of time with more comfort and get to your destination. And that's what the agentic AI is going to do. So, for example, and I try to use it in what I'll call simple business terms. I could sit here and give you a lot of tech speak, but you may not appreciate application. We have the capability now with our agentic AI dialer to be able to make thousands of phone calls simultaneously with a relevant message and offer to be able to continue that conversation, capture that conversation, summarize it, store it, and then recall it. Or we also can transfer to a live agent when necessary.
Mhm.
So the things that I look at is how can we manage volume, but how can we keep it personal? Manage volume through the collecting of the data, the way I described it, a constant review of it, where it is updating and refining its behavior, but also don't create friction for the consumer. If they want a live agent, they get a warm transfer. So you call in, yours is straightforward, AI can complete the task, or you call in, it's not straightforward, it's nuanced, it can recognize that, it gathers that, summarizes it, stores it in the CRM, and transfers you to a dedicated personnel, which would be a call center environment, where the call center there can complete the outcome, as opposed to getting caught in a loop currently with a chatbot. You can't get out of it. You can't leave a message. You just hang up.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's such a great point. Yeah, you had touched on that the last time we were talking about this, particularly when it comes to what I was asking Jim about was Ryan was whenever it comes to the CRM application or this, which I'm really excited about, because I'm saying on behalf of Jim that I don't think there's anybody else out there who is advancing this more comprehensive application to what dealers deal with on a day-to-day basis, because we spend a lot of time in defection prevention, which is one of the challenges, one of the three main challenges. I think this totally addresses that in sales and service at a CRM level. Everybody has conversational agents now, that can help to advance a conversation, but actually be an actual platform. And you touched on that. You talked about some references about about platforms with Google and so forth, about how this is different than and how it advances everything around it.
Yeah. So the old architecture, as Jim mentioned, of the CRMs now is you have to have a third-party plug-in and do X, Y, Z, or you need this dashboard or that company or this or that. With the integrated AI model being agentic and integrated with the CRM, the agentic AI effectively becomes all of those inside your CRM, right? So think about all of the service retention, the equity mining, the outbound calls, all of that now is performed by the reasoning, right? Because it can self-reason agentic AI model. Mm-hmm. So think about it. And Jim, I want you to kind of touch base on that. I'm going to kick that back to you because this is your creation. But imagine that as a dealership general manager, owner, sales manager, if you have one platform that does all of that, it's doing all the equity mining, bringing those conversations up. It's able to make those outbound calls, have those conversations, all in one place, built in. It's able to receive phone calls, take all of the phone calls, right? Create those records inside the CRM and then alert somebody. Mm-hmm. Or, as Jim was saying, you're able to live transfer that call as it's coming in, right at the same time. So I kind of want to, that's a great segue to what we're talking about dead CRMs versus the new. Mm. So I think it's important, Jim, to kind of kick that back and give us, if you can, in the audience. When I say us, I mean the audience, the car audience. What can they kind of see at Digital Dealer One, and then where do you see this partnership with AWS taking your integrated CRM model, to the next level over the next 6 months?
First, I'll kind of take a bow for an award that we've been nominated for. And AWS has a conference in 1st of December in Las Vegas. It's called reInvent. It's about 3 times larger than the NADA show, and we all know how many people go to the NADA show. We've been nominated in the category of best use of the AI agent in call center activity. So we're very proud of that. Where do I see it going? So much is going to change. If you think about how much has changed in the last 12 months, that much is going to change again exponentially in the next 12 months as these foundation models begin to develop, mature, and have more functionality, and we get to upgrade with it. where we're really separating ourselves with all other CRMs right now. I would challenge a dealer to go into the CRM and look at your tags and look at your segments, and can you tell what percent of your customers have had service in the last 12 months, but also called into your dealership and interacted with your sales team, and also visited your showroom recently. Where's all that data? How's that data being used to service the customer and the journey, where they're at, what's the next best action? All of that will continue to be updated in AI. And you're right, Ryan. AI, any tool that a CRM has, AI has access to it. So it's going to take those tools and utilize them in the most efficient way to deliver the proper message at the right time to the consumer based on their needs. Because sometimes consumers are in service and have service needs, but they're also interacting with sales and have sales needs. And the two don't communicate. So, but the AI now is going to be able to see that they were in recently for an oil change, and now they're calling in from the website to get some information about maybe some special offer that's there. So it'll be able to reason through that and gather that as it stores that in its memory, what we'll call into the metadata. It's going to again update its behavior. So not to get too in the weeds about the technology, but for me, it's about when a customer calls, I need you to know as much information as you can about me. I need you to speak to it instantly, and I need to talk to someone that can help me. So AI can do that now.
Yeah, I want to add something to that as well. I think what I see in a lot of these AI models today are like those bots that we were talking about earlier, and I think dealers they can get a little confused because there's so much noise, in regards to AI, that not all AI is equal. Okay, and
For sure.
I think that what really is amazing here is that, to Jim's point, this AI is actually not a bot where it just does one thing over and over and over and over and over. It's reasoning agentically. Maybe talk what that means, agentic AI. It's reasoning across multiple platforms within all of your data so that the messaging is driven towards what is going to give you a relationship with that customer that feels so intentional and so, I hate to say it like this, but caring. Like, I really care for my customer, not just the sale, but I'm managing the relationship, and it's using its agentic AI across all these different channels. There is no other AI out there that's doing it like this. This is like, there's a ton of bots that do certain things really good, but this is a game changer, I think, for the automobile industry, period. And that's why I think, that's why, AWS is so excited, for what Jim's doing in this particular vertical, automotive.
Are you saying there are companies out there in the AI space who are more SaaS companies, Ken, who are posers?
I would say yes, for sure. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Well, and I want to kind of talk about future application, right? So I'm going to kick this back to our BDC expert, Ken, and then our technology expert, Jim, about how kind of this works, about the evolution of the BDC, okay? Because we're going from, boots on the ground, right, with the ARs, the M4s, whatnot, right, to more of a drone. This is what we call internally, right?
Yeah.
More of a drone pilot approach, okay? Because of this, because of the automation. So talk a little bit about how the BDC agent evolves into what we're calling a drone pilot and how that works, Jim, based off of how much more are they going to be able to do, how much wider area are they going to be able to attack, if you will, and how many more interactions are they going to be able to manage, right? Mm-hmm. What kind of scope of work can expand versus what they can do now?
All right, so to that point, like we have imagine we have Call Team 6, right? We have all these soldiers currently that are they're out there taking the hills for you guys. We're setting appointments and we're doing it with a lot of heavy lifting, lots of texts, lots of calls. So now we go from an agent like that to a drone pilot where the AI has the capacity, like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, to reason across multiple channels to be able to connect with the customer the way they want to connect. I mean, and Jim can talk about the different texts. We can text. You can do all these different variables to engage the customer. AI can communicate in most cases. Amazingly, you train the AI, you can't even tell the difference, quite frankly, between a human being, communicating with them than the AI. It's like, however, there are opportunities where you need to be able to quickly pivot and transfer that opportunity to a real human being, So that's that drone pilot we're talking about. So you can get so much more done with AI, and it's very. And I would tell you this: the AI is actually, in a lot of cases, more effective because it doesn't miss anything. We talk about lead bias. We talk about good lead, bad lead. Who to call, who not to call. AI doesn't care. AI does everything 100% every time with the support of that drone pilot, that we talked about.
Yeah, how do you see that playing into your into your fully integrated solution, Jim? About that, and I just one quick thing though before you answer that. I mean, think about it. You talked about lead bias. I just want to do this real quick. It's the latest 4i study where 16 days is the average. 16 days is the average time that it takes a dealership to mark a lead lost or bad. Okay, so we know about half buy within the first 3 days. The next 50% buy over the next 3-4 months.
Yeah,
but 16 days is the average. An agentic AI that can follow who knows how to follow that customer, but reason.
Yeah.
Not just, oh, it's the third day, let me send this message. Oh, it's the fourth day, now it's time to send this message. It's not what it is. Right? It's able to have a more intelligent conversation with that. Anyway, but Jim, back. I just wanted to make your point, Ken, because that 4i study.
And I got to say this one last thing, and I'll shut up. But I mean, this is the thing: AI can determine based on the conversation too, what type of learning style the human is, what type of personality it has. We teach a lot to our agents, particularly. We use a lot of psychology, in terms
NLP.
of NLP, correct. And so that NLP model also is in the agentic AI's mind, so it can communicate only the way the person receiving it, this is key, will appreciate it, not the person writing it. That's fundamental. How do you get someone to be more responsive? You have to give it to them in a way that they want it, not just in a video or a call or a text or an email, but crafting the verbiage, the language pattern, whether it be visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or dominant, influence, steady, or compliant. All of these things matter. AI can do all of those things perfectly every time.
It's a great point. So now, Jim, back to you. This is a two-parter now. One, drone pilot kind of usage with how the BDC agent evolves into that, but also how can your AI being fully integrated into the CRM solution, how can you train it? What prompts can you give it? How easy or hard or difficult is it to train special use cases?
So the first part of the question being, we reverse engineer. It was kind of, where do we want to be once it's developed? Okay, we want to be more efficient, be able to reach more people, be more cost effective, still let it be driven by a US-based operation, and do it in a way that's affordable and deliverable. So we feel like we've done that. So if I was to ask you, how long would it take you to be able to make 10,000 outbound calls to a database? If you don't reach them, you leave a specific message. If you follow up with that with the same outbound activity over some scheduled set of time. If you do reach them, the AI has the ability to have a conversation and to reach a given outcome, or it has the ability to transfer. So now, instead of agents having one-to-one conversations, AI is having one-to-one conversations. So you can kind of look at it like the agent is now going to be the offensive coordinator, and it's going to have 11 people on the field running a play. 11 people are going to be AI, right? Offensive coordinator calls a play, all 11 people do their job, and you get a desired outcome. Now, over time, we think we can make it even more efficient to where we may be able to exponentially increase what they're capable of in terms of referencing that drone pilot strategy. So if we will learn from all the metadata of connectivity rates, how many conversations, how many required live transfers, all that to be gathered. Now, how do we train it? The unique thing about the way we've developed our AI solution is it's integrated with CRM. You go into the CRM and you build out your prompts of what you want your AI to be able to do, dealer specific. You have a Volkswagen dealer, you have a Mercedes-Benz dealer, one's in California, one's in Florida. They all have different personalities. All the conversations that AI is going to have, it's going to learn the behavior of that individual dealership, but it's going to incorporate all the dealerships at large for a greater understanding. The ease of training it is simple. For example, for Call Team 6, you'll be able to experience this at Digital Dealer. We're going to take their website, we're going to scrape it with all the text and images, we're going to put it in the prompt, and the AI will be able to speak to you about the capabilities of Call Team 6 that is being presented to you through their website. So what's on the website, the AI will be able to speak to it, answer questions, and its desired outcome is going to be to book a demo or get you to learn more. We've also created it to where when a question is asked, is answered. If it's unable to answer it, it recognizes that. So again, we're not trying to get you to say no 3 times before you get somewhere. We're trying to create an environment where the consumer gets what they want when they want it, and at the same time, deliver an outcome that's positive for the dealer.
Wow, it sounds like that might be useful for you at Easy Car up in Snowy Mountain, Montana.
Yeah.
Any time, because in my world, on a day-to-day basis, if you're talking where I get measured in performance, is if you're talking about ways to be able to increase gross per employee and or team member versus expense per team member, and achieve some economies of scale, and ultimately never losing sight of the fact that all this it generates itself on the premise that we want to be able to provide the best possible customer experience at every touch point on a day-to-day basis, and have the leadership team be assured that the level of customer service and level of performance is going to be consistent, which is really a challenge these days among various team members who are on the front lines every day, answering service calls, answering sales calls, or making outbound calls. We want the calls to be made, right, above all else, but we want to have quality conversations that are always looking at it from the consumer's point of view first, and then also adapts to the changing consumer behavior habits whenever it comes to shopping or servicing their cars. So I think it's extremely exciting, Jim. Everything that you're talking about, we can't wait to see and hear what's going to happen with more of the being able to see a demo in action of how this is all going to play out within the CRM space for dealerships out there. Which this is, again, nobody's doing this. Nobody's talking about it. You're at the forefront of it. You're a leading expert in the country with this, and again, congratulations on being nominated for that award, which is puts you in certainly an exclusive company there. We're very very excited for you and excited to be part of that, to be leveraged as the human component that Ken mentioned, which is still vital. And I know that a lot of people out there are reticent and want to eject an automated conversation, but it's because of the quality of the automated conversation. And I know that if it gets to the point, and I know it's right around the corner, where that I call in for service for my Nissan, and rather than getting a bot, I get an agent who recognizes my number and says, "Hey, good afternoon, Jeff. How are you doing? This is Emily here at the dealership. Thanks for calling. Are you needing some service for your 2018 Murano, or are you looking for service for the 2021 Altima? Which one are we working with today?" As soon as that happens, and that's how I feel valued as a customer, then I don't know if I want to have another conversation with an apathetic human or potentially apathetic human after that. Do you see that's where it's going? I would say in the last 30 seconds or so we have of the program here, that where that's going.
Yeah, I think the goal is when someone calls in, they want to ask a question, they want you to have the information available to be able to answer it. I will leave you with one final thought on data privacy. Our environment is closed. It's within the AWS cloud services and encrypted. I would challenge, if you're looking at other AI solutions, what environments are they using? If they're using ChatGPT, there's no guarantee that data is secure. If you're looking at plugins, you could have exposure through buckets that are vulnerable. They're not properly encrypted. So by using AWS and the solution we currently have, it's a SOC 2 environment, so it meets HIPAA requirements, just to let you know how we manage data.
Definitely go for closed source instead of open source for sure. I was listening to another podcast the other day about a dealer who is posting their financial statements on ChatGPT for financial analysis.
Oh boy!
And I thought, okay, let's hope the dealer principal doesn't catch wind of that. That's probably less than desirable. So, Jim, thank you so much. We're extremely excited. If somebody wants to know more about what you're going to be rolling out at Digital Dealer Expo next month, how can any of our viewers reach you directly for more information or to learn more about what you're doing?
What I would say right now, because we're so heavily focused on the rollout, I would invite people to attend Digital Dealer, be part of the workshops that you guys are sponsoring, and visit the booth. And at this point, we will do some press releases and some public announcements through some of our public relations with AWS.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. What a treat our viewers have had today with you joining us. And we're very appreciative, and we're looking forward to having you back again really soon after the expo to get some more in-depth knowledge and some information on where exactly this is going. We're very excited about the CRM space and what you're contributing to it and what you're working on right now. Thanks so much, Jim. We appreciate it, okay?
Thanks, guys.
All right, fantastic. That's going to be a wrap for episode 6 Foxtrot on Mission Debrief today. Quick shout out to our music producer, Jay, up in North Carolina. Thanks again to engineer Dan and producer Ben for today's program. Ryan, once again, if they want to tune into other episodes and catch clips, they can find us where?
You can find us Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all the socials, Facebook, X, LinkedIn. You got to come see us, though, at Digital Dealer. That's where we're going to be. Come experience this for yourself. We're excited about it. You should be, too.
Absolutely. And Ken, you're going to be there. You're going to be at a speaking session.
Yes.
Right? You've been selected to be a speaker there yourself, you and our managing partner, Rebecca Hanley, on the last episode. So I know that you're excited about that.
I am. It's going to be a great opportunity to share some best practices that are, again, going back to what Jim was talking about, we're talking about, where is the new BDC headed? We look backwards and we say, hey, the BDC started way back in the day, and what has transpired? All these concepts that we talked about today with Jim and the future of AI, you're going to love it. So we're reimagining the BDC. Let's reimagine it, and it's a frictionless process. Think about that. Customers are looking for a frictionless process that they feel connected to. If you want some information, come join us at our workshop. You'll love it. You have some great takeaways that you can take back to the dealership the next day and implement it and get some results right away.
Fantastic. We're looking forward to that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. And thanks to our sponsors, Insight Live and Podcast Junkies, for sponsoring this episode today. And we really look forward to seeing everybody again on the next episode. You've been watching from Call Team 6 Special Ops for Car Dealers. No lead left behind. This is the Mission Debrief.